morning, everyone. It is Dave, and we are back with our next reading of the New Testament. For those of you who've been following along, we are in the book of Luke, and we are with chapter 20 today. Chapter 20 is 47 verses long, covers topics such as Jesus' authority questioned, the parable of the wicked wine dressers, the Pharisees, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar? The Sadducees, what about the resurrection? Jesus, how can David call his descendant Lord? And beware the scribes. As always, we will be, not as always, but for now, this one we're going to be reading out of the New King James Version. If you don't have a Bible, remember that you can go to Bible.com and read it there for free. And then you can also do the U version, YOU version app on Android or Apple devices. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Now it happened on one of those days, as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel, that the chief priests and the scribes, together with the elders, confronted him and spoke to him, saying, "Tell us by what authority you are doing these things, or who is he who gave you this authority?" But he answered and said to them, "I also will ask you one thing, and answer me. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or from men?" And they reasoned among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say, why then did you not believe him? But if we say from men, all the people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet." So they answered that they did not know where it was from. And Jesus said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." Then he began to tell people this parable. A certain man planted a vineyard, leased it to vine dressers, and went into a far country for a long time. Now at vintage time he sent a servant to the vine dressers, that they might give him some of the fruit of the vineyard. But the vine dressers beat him and sent him away empty-handed. Again he sent another servant, and they beat him also, treated him shamefully, and sent him away empty-handedly. And again he sent a third, and they wounded him also, and cast him out. And then the owner of the vineyard said, "What shall I do? I will send my beloved son. Probably they will respect him when they see him." But when the vine dressers saw him, they reasoned amongst themselves, saying, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours." So they cast him into the vineyard, and they killed him. Therefore, what will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and destroy all those vine dressers, and give the vineyard to others. And when they heard this, they said, "Certainly not." Then he looked at them and said, "What then is this that is written? The stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. Whosoever falls on that cornerstone will be broken, but on whomever it falls, it will grind him to powder." And the chief priests and the scribes that very hour sought to lay hands on him, but they feared the people, for they knew that he had spoken this parable against them. So they watched him and sent spies who pretended to be righteous. That seems to happen a lot now, doesn't it? That they might seize on his own words, in order to deliver him to the power and the authority of the governor. Then they asked him, saying, "Teacher, we know that you say and teach rightly, and you do not show personal favoritism, but teach the way of God in truth. Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, "Why do you test me? Show me a denarius. Whose image and inscription does it have?" They answered and said, "Caesar's." And he said to them, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." But they could not catch him in his words in the presence of the people, and they marveled at his answer, and kept silent. Then some of the Sadducees, who deny that there is a resurrection, came to him and asked him, saying, "Teacher, Moses wrote to us that if a man's brother dies having a wife, and he dies without children, his brother should take his wife and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers, and the first took the wife and died without children, and the second took her as a wife, and he died childless. Then the third took her, and in the like manner the 7 also. And they left no children, and died. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife does she become? For all 7 had her as wife. Jesus answered and said to them, the sons of this age marry and are given in marriage. But those who are counted worthy to attain that age and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given in marriage. Nor can they die any more, for they are equal to the angels and are sons of God, being sons of the resurrection. But even Moses showed in burning bush passage that the dead are raised, when he called Lord the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. For he is not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. Then some of the scribes answered and said, Teacher, you have spoken well. But after that they dared not question him any more. And they said to him, how can they say that Christ is the son of David? Now David himself said in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool. Therefore David calls him Lord. How is he then his son? Then in hearing all the people, the last topic is beware of the scribes. Because it seems as though he didn't answer that question. Actually, that was his statement, sorry. I read that wrong. All right. Then in hearing of all the people, he said to his disciples, beware of the scribes who desire to go around in long robes, love greetings in the marketplace, and the best seats in the synagogues, and the best places at feasts, who devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These will receive greater condemnation. So sorry, that last part threw me a little bit. I read it wrong inside my head. But so that concludes Luke chapter 20. Next will be chapter 21, which hopefully we'll get to tomorrow. If not, we'll get to it within the next few days. So thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Hope you all are doing well. Praying for everyone that's out there with the whole COVID thing. I know it's stressful for some and not so stressful for others. We all deal with things differently, but hopefully this quarantine or isolation or whatever they want to call it, that you all are dealing well with it. So thanks so much for watching the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them down below. As always, we appreciate it if you give us a subscribe, but more importantly, we would prefer that you share this video so that we can help get this word out to the world. So thanks so much for watching. We hope that you have a great day, and yeah, God bless.